and welcome back to Little Red Roaming. I'm your host, Little Red, and I apologize, I didn't get a video to you guys this week. Sorry, I didn't get a video to you guys last week. It's because I was really busy planning out a bachelorette party that took place over Memorial Day weekend. So I just had a lot on my plate, and I had to put filming on the back burner, but I'm back at it this week. And I'm excited to tell you guys about a new project I'm starting out on, or at least a new series of videos that I have in the works now. So I had a couple of friends in the past week tell me that they really like the advice I'm giving, but what they really want to get from me is budgeting. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's most people's concern when it comes to traveling, is how much does it cost? And the truth is, a lot less than you think. I traveled through 10 countries in Europe. I spent 2 months, so 8 full weeks of traveling. I only spent $5,123. That's really not that bad. And I could have done it a lot cheaper, but I really like beer and wine. If I didn't drink those, I probably could have cut my cost way down. I was also pickpocketed at one point, and I did count that in as a cost. I lost roughly $200 or so, and I bought a really expensive leather jacket while I was in Italy. So these are things that I could have cut my cost down even more. I honestly think I could have done that trip for about $4,400, give or take a little bit here and there. But totally possible to do it that way. So my goal in the next few videos is to teach you some of the things that I've learned along the way, and some of the budgeting tips and tricks that really assisted me in being able to do that trip, and subsequent trips that I've been able to do for less than you might expect them to cost. I mean, most people would think, oh, 2 months abroad and you've done 10 countries, what did that cost you? 10 grand? I said, well, cut that in half. It's a little closer to reality. Today, I'm going to give you the very first step, and that is pick where you're going. It is impossible to set a budget until you know where you're going, because every country has different exchange rates and different costs of living and traveling. Flying there costs a different rate for every country. Hostel fees, hotel costs, all of that comes into play when figuring out your budget for your trip. So, you have to decide where you're going, obviously. And that seems like a really simple step for most people, I guess. For me, that's like the hardest part, because I really just want to go everywhere. So what I'm going to do while I work you through these videos is I'm going to plan out my next big trip. This is going to be hypothetical. I don't know if I'm going to take this trip or not, but this is something that I actively want to do, so setting a budget for it right now is probably a good idea for me. And this trip involves going back to Europe for a little while to visit some friends, then going over to Thailand for a little while, possibly seeing more of Southeast Asia. We'll see if I add that in eventually, but right now I'm just gonna say Thailand, and then coming home. That's the trip that I'm going to plan through the next few videos that I make, and I'll work you through my planning process and the steps involved and how I manage it. And maybe some of the advice and tidbits that I use and the steps that I take will help you in planning your next trip. So, if that madness sounds like it's something that would appeal to you, not that trip in particular, I'm just going to use that as my hypothetical to pull some numbers and to plan a little bit. But if trip planning is something that you have a little bit of difficulty with, maybe setting a budget and figuring it out as you go along, then this might help you. It's really not that hard, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. It's really not that hard. But please subscribe to my channel so you can follow along with this process that I'm doing. I'm expecting it to take 4 videos or so for the next month that's what we're going to be focusing on. As an update, I will actually be in New Hampshire this weekend at a music festival, so I might have some footage from that. We'll see how it goes as far as walking around with my camera goes, and you know, all the madness there. Depends on if it rains and whatnot too. But I might have some interesting footage for you guys from, it's called the Psychedelic Sleepover. If you do see me there, please come up and say hi, give me a shout. I would love to give you a hug and maybe chat with you for a little bit. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really look forward to embarking on this with you. My name is Little Red, and if you want to follow me on any other avenues, I will put my Instagram, my Snapchat, my blog, all that jazz below. You can also drop me a line on here. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next week. Ciao!